So, what's up, everybody? It is Jamie Shaw here with Absolute Basketball. Very excited for you guys. Very excited to come live to you here. This is our Sunday night live session that we typically do. So, I'll give you a couple seconds, let some people log on and everything too, and then we'll go ahead and jump into what we have going here. We're going to talk. Today's topics are going to be the Big Shots event that we just had in Rock Hill. We're going to talk about the North Carolina Power Rankings, and then we're going to talk about just an open Q&A. Let y'all ask questions as y'all see fit that you would like to see and all that type of stuff too. But thank you guys for checking in. If you don't already, please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat here. Please type in any questions you may have. If you don't already subscribe here, please make sure that you do that. Also, make sure you check us out on Twitter at JamieShaw5, on Instagram at Jamie_Shaw5, and then at on the podcast, The Absolute Basketball Experience with Jamie Shaw. Make sure you check us all out there. Let's go ahead and jump into it here. We see some people are coming in and all that. Big Shots hosted an event this weekend in Rock Hill, South Carolina. The beautiful new sports complex that they have there. It's great. If y'all have not been, 10 courts, I think it's 9 courts under one roof, and then you have an arena court, which can go sideways to be 2 courts, or you can have one full arena in there as well. Most people that have been in there, I know Teammate Sports that was in there, and then also Phenom, and then Big Shots as well, as all use it as one court down there. So it makes for a great atmosphere, especially for a championship-style court and all that type of stuff. But this week, Big Shots had a tournament-style event that had the likes of Team Charlotte, Team Curry, Team Loaded North Carolina was in there. The Big Shots North Carolina team, which is Moravian Prep, was in there. There were some teams out of, Ohio, Kentucky. It was overall just a really good a good event. A lot of team came in from Dallas, Texas. A lot of teams, people, kids, players, stuff that had already been seen, but also some new guys as well. So it's really good to see the whole mixture of it, see the whole gamut as it was. Jumping right into it, though, we'll go with the 17U championship. The winner was Team Curry. Runner-up was Team Charlotte. What a great game it was. Team Curry led for the majority of the way. They were probably up 12 to 15 points for the majority of the game. And then at the end of the game, Team Charlotte came back in typical Team Charlotte fashion. They created havoc and turnovers and sped the game up, and then made shots. Chris Robinson, who's always a killer shot maker, made some shots. Jalen Curry got to the paint and made some plays. Overall, it was a great game. Ended up going into overtime. It was unbelievable ending. Team Curry was up. Team Charlotte scored the ball with less than 15 seconds to go. Curry could not get the ball in bounds, turn it over, an immediate steal. Jalen Curry finishes, makes the free throws. On the ensuing inbounds play, down 2, or now Team Curry up 2 with like 6 seconds left. All they have to do is get the ball in play. They don't. Another steal, and then Sean goes to gets foul shooting a 3. Shooting a 3, down 2, gets foul shooting a 3, goes to the free throw line, makes 2 out of the 3, ties the game, sends it to overtime. Unbelievable finish. The atmosphere got crazy because it was not a close game until the very, very, very end of the game, and then all of a sudden, some improbable things happened, and Team Charlotte came back. Unbelievable heart, unbelievable shot making. Going on with it and everything, and turned them over, created stuff for Team Curry not to be able to inbound the ball. It was two consecutive turnovers that tied the game, sent it overtime, and then Team Curry ended up winning the game. PJ Edwards, I think Team Charlotte got the tip, went down, and maybe got fouled, made one out of 2 free throws, I think, and then PJ Edwards came down. ISO 1-on-1, got to the paint, finished at the rim, and then good defense all the way down the floor. And Jonas Adu was able to secure the rebound for the 1-point win in the championship game. Awesome game. My game MVP was Jonas Adu, the 7-footer top 100 prospect, recently introduced to the top 100 prospect. I think it's easy to go ahead and start talking about him as possibly the top prospect in the state of North Carolina. Also, easy to start talking about him as possible NBA outlooks looking for him as well in the future. 7-footer, very, very good defensively, moves his feet laterally and vertically. Excellent shot blocker, knocked down threes. What he did today was he finished with ferocity. He had a really good connection with Jamari Thomas, his point guard, was able to get into the paint, and he dunked on a couple heads. He was blocking shots. He was an unbelievable rebounder. Both games today, in both the semifinals and the finals, he finished with double-doubles, double-figure rebounds. And then he had, I believe, 5 and 7 block shots in the game. Knocked down some threes. You know, as we all know, Jonas is a great three-point shooter. But what he did with that was really interesting because his pulling gravity for three out to the corner made Combine have to guard their big out at the three-point line, which created space for their second big, which typically with Jonas was Ian Shefflin, who just announced his final schools or whatnot. But it's 6'7", 6'8" player out of Georgia, allowed him to operate 15 feet and in, which created a lot of mismatches at times. So even with Team Charlotte having Patrick Wessler and Ja'Cory Owens, sometimes they ran A.J. Smith at the 4. But even having them as their two bigs, they had to kind of pick their poison because they had to send one out to guard Jonas because Jonas is a 40% three-point shooter, and then have the other one kind of work around the paint with Ian came in. And then Jonathan Curtis gave great minutes off the bench as well as the big. For that too. Talking about Team Charlotte, though, Chris Robinson showcased he's always been a shot maker. We've always known him as an elite level shooter. What he showed this weekend was actually shot creation type stuff. He was able to off the bounce because Robert Dillingham was injured halfway through the game yesterday, the second game yesterday, and then did not play today in either game today. So Jalen Curry was our primary ball handler, but Chris Robinson had to take on a lot of those initiation primary ball handling duties as well. And he showcased the ability to actually get to his spots off the bounce. It was a very good showing for him. He got to his spots. Now, granted, he's not a point guard in the traditional sense, but he showcased the ability to initiate, to get into sets and stuff, and find his spots off the bounce as well too. Him shooting the ball is always a good thing because he's such an excellent shooter as well. And then Ja'Cory Owens played great also. Ja'Cory Owens doing typical Ja'Cory Owens type stuff, just big time hustle plays around the basket. He's a paint protector. He's a rim protector. He's an excellent rebounder on both ends of the floor too. Very vocal and takes pride in his defense. He does a great job on the defensive end of the floor, really kind of controlling the paint, doing all that. Patrick Wessler showed some moments, the 7-foot 2022 prospect. It was very interesting today. He had a matchup with Deontay Green. So I believe coming out of this past season, Deontay Green and Patrick Wessler were number 1 and 2 players in the state of North Carolina. So it was good to see them kind of go head-to-head and see how that matchup ended up. I think in this specific matchup, while Wessler's team, but consider him a top 10 player in the state of North Carolina. Consider him high majors should be coming soon to offer. I believe last week he picked up both East Tennessee State and Charleston Southern. I think he's got 7 or so right now offers. The high majors, mid majors, high majors should start coming soon for him. Ian Shefflin, did some tough guy things. Jamari Thomas was spectacular. Big Shots named him the MVP, and you can't argue that. While my personal preference would have been Jonas Adu, Jamari Thomas was spectacular, and he continues to get better every single week. You can see that he's really taking to becoming a point guard. In previous years, he's just a downhill burst of energy who would just try to attack the rim. Now he's actually attacking the paint. He's not attacking the rim. He's attacking the paint under control, 2 feet, making a play, whether it be the kick out, whether it be the pass, whether it be going up and finishing at the rim, all that type of stuff. He's shown the ability to hit a jump shot, but also understand when to take a jump shot. He's shown the ability to knock down the mid-range shots as well too. So would not be surprised to see, I guess Stetson and Winthrop have already extended offers. It would not be surprised to see more D1s come in for him. He's had a big summer and has steadily gotten better. I have seen them 3 of the 4 last weeks that they have played. I've not seen him have a bad game. He's been steady and consistent every single game that he played.
over these last 3 or 4 weeks of Curry playing. He's steady every single time out. Angelo Breezy has committed to Villanova. So he hasn't, and he's been battling injury, I guess. So Jamari's kind of been the only point guard on the roster, and he's had to play a ton of minutes, and he's done an excellent job with it too. So kudos to him. Continue to step up to make plays. But those are the big three. You have Jonathan Curtis that came in and gave some great minutes as well yesterday. Quentin Flood was in there, and then Logan did a lot of great things too at Concord Academy too. So that's it there. 16U championship, the leftovers. My personal, the absolute basketball MVP, Reed Shepherd. They won over Big Shots, North Carolina, which is the Moravian Prep 16U team, led by Anthony Sellers, Cornelius Williams, Kamian Shell. They had Eli Ellis out there too. The leftovers were an insanely fun team to watch all 4 games. While this game was close within 10 points, their other games were all blowouts. The semifinals was a blowout. Even last night they had scored 108 points last night, and then 81 in the first round. This morning, I believe they jumped out to like a 28-6 lead to start the game off. Gabe Cups, who was a starting point guard for Bronny James, 8th grade team that got so much notoriety. He was with this team. Trent Noah, who's an 8th grader, Kentucky, prospect who's been playing varsity basketball starting since 7th grade. He was on this team. Reed Shepherd, son of Jeff Shepherd at the University of Kentucky, was on this team. Jacob Connor, 6'7", West Virginia Wildcats, has 7 or so offers. So this was a really good team. The leftovers name is a very catchy name. But to look at it, 3 of their guys were playing up. You have Reed Shepherd and Gabe Cups, who are 2023 class, and you have Trent Noah, who's a 2024 class. What they did, though, is they played beautiful basketball. Everybody would be able to touch the paint. They would spread the floor, touch the paint, kick, make shots. Spread the floor, touch the paint, kick, make shots. And they ran a great matchup defense that always was working, always was hustling, always helping weak side, and always getting to your man and defending. It was really, really, really fun to watch. Anytime that points are just pouring in, because you have to realize that they were running clock, these teams, like they were running clock the games within the first 6 minutes of the game. So the running clock started at 20 points. They would have 20-point leads on their opponents within the first 6 minutes of the game, especially in the first 3 games. And then to still be able to get 80 and 100 in that game, they were putting up some ridiculous numbers. And I believe they had 80 as well in the first game, in the semifinal game today too. So, you have Reed Shepherd. He's going to be a 1. He's going to be a pretty high level guy. He probably might be the highest level prospect on the roster. He is a 6'2", 6'3", 2023 guard, Kentucky. He showcased some play creation. He showcased IQ, ability to make shots. Just pretty much a complete game with mental toughness. Gabe Cups, the exact same, except for he's about 6 foot tall in the 2023 class. Decisions with pace. Then going over to Jacob Connor, 6'7", 6'8", big man for this team. He's probably more of a stretch 4 type, a skilled mismatch type of spread 4-man. Very angular, very athletic, great length. Shot the ball well, had some handle, and all that type of stuff. He kind of manned the 5-man for him. Did a great job with it too. He's the one who probably carries the most offers on the team currently, as it's currently stated. And some more should start coming too as he continues to be seen. I think he normally plays for the West Virginia Wildcats team that has Isaac McNeely, Jerome Bea, and all those guys. But he's got a lot of stuff to his game too. And this team just works so well together. They on both ends of the floor, they moved the ball. They helped on the defensive end. They rebounded. They just did all the right things, all the right basketball plays. And when their shots are falling, it's a thing of beauty. And then going over to this Big Shot North Carolina team that they beat, Cornelius Williams is really the name that I want to harp on here. While Kamian Shell had a good weekend, Hamilton Campbell played very well. Eli Ellis did his thing. And Anthony Sellers is another name who continues who has taken a big leap from last year to this year. Super athletic. It's Cornelius Williams is kind of the name. He came in with a lot of hoopla surrounding his name out of Mississippi. 6'8", big man. He's probably a 5 guy, run and jump kind of 5-man. Got a ton of pop in his game. He's very long. He plays with an incredible motor, runs the floor very well. But he continues to get better. He came in with a lot of hoopla. Before anybody saw him play, he picked up the likes of Coastal Carolina, 2 or 3 other offers as well. And as the weeks have kind of gone on, he's had a couple scatter here and there. Old Dominion, I believe, came in. BCU came in. Southern Miss came in. So things have kind of picked up. But his game is what it is, has gotten a whole lot, continued to improve. He kind of went from a frail being who didn't really know what was going on outside of just playing hard to catching the ball and having the ability to go over his left shoulder and finish at the basket, or getting it in space and dunking it, or all that type of stuff too. So continue to watch Cornelius Williams as he continues to progress, because he gets better every single time out. This is probably the 8th or so time that I've seen him this summer. And he continues to get better and better and better and better all 8 of those times. And the 15U championship was Team Charlotte 15U. My personal MVP was 2024 Amari Bethel, just like in the 16U age group with Reed Shepard playing up in age group. Amari Bethel, 2024, was playing up in the 15U age group. He's just a bucket. He's just an absolute scoring threat. When the ball in his hands, he's able to get to the basket and he's able to shoot the jump shot. Kind of one of those tough-minded guys that Team Charlotte seems to have. And he did a really good job with it. Hat tip goes to Marcus Brown. He's the jack of all trades player, the 6'4" kind of big man stretch 4 guy that they have that makes all the plays. He initiates the offense. He rebounds. He scores it. Did a lot of really good things. And then Isaiah Sutherland is another one, the 6'8" center, 2024 as well, playing up an age group that has a huge upside. They won over Big Shots Lewis. The big story for Big Shots Lewis is Tremaine Parker. Tremaine Parker continues to set a name for himself. A lot of the buzz surrounding the gym had some Colin Sexton comparisons going on. He had some Keon Dooling comparisons going on. But what he is he's a guy, who stands about 6 foot tall and can do everything on the floor. He'll come down the paint and dunk it on your head, which gets the most notoriety. But he's also a great passer. He's a very good rebounder for a 6 foot guard. He's got a great handle, gets to his spots. He knocks down his jump shots. He's just an all-around basketball player who happens to be able to be explosively, like ridiculously explosively athletic. Also talking about Isaiah Washington for that team as well, the 6'5" wing who can score off the bounce and shoot the ball as well. Good stuff from him too. But the Amari Bethel was a story there, Northwood Temple 2024 prospect for the Team Charlotte. He was the my MVP. So going back through, congratulations to Team Curry and the Absolute Basketball MVP Jonas Adu in the 17U age group. Congratulations to the Leftovers and Reed Shepard 2023 prospect in the 16U age group. And then congratulations to Team Charlotte and Amari Bethel 2024 class in the 15U age group. Now let's go over to the top 5 players. Obviously the MVPs, the age group MVPs were already mentioned, so we won't go into them. We'll start off with Gabe Cups from the Leftovers. He is a 6 foot point guard in the 2023 class, playing up in the 16U group. Obviously, he's got 300,000 Instagram followers and all that type of stuff. He's been a viral sensation. People know about him already, but he's a consummate point guard. He's able to make the plays. He plays with toughness. He plays with IQ, and he plays with skill. Toughness, IQ, and skill can get you a long way in basketball. It obviously led this team to the championship. He knocks down his shots. He's a great spot up shooter. Has excellent vision. His recruitment brings where his career goes from here and all that type of stuff. But I guess all that stuff is legit as to all the virality of him. Shooting a LeBron and stuff. All that stuff is legit. Then Tremaine Parker. Every time he steps on the floor, he's must-see TV. Even in an event that has high majors all over the place, that has future NBA prospects and all that stuff, Tremaine Parker is a player that you cannot take your eyes off of. We mentioned it earlier. There's not much on the floor that he can't do. He's incredibly explosive. He's bouncing the ball off the floor to himself, windmill dunking. He's coming down, piping it on your big man. He's just incredibly explosive off the backboard, tip-in dunks and all that type of stuff. But don't let that get in the way of his basketball ability. He's able to create shots, get to his spots, knock down the three, knock at the mid-range. He even did some mid-post type stuff, like some Kobe post type of moves, and excellent vision. When the game gets going like this is when he really shines, when his creativity with the ball and when his explosion with the ball really, really opens up. But Tremaine Parker was another one, 6', 2023 guard. He played with the Big Shots North Carolina 2023 Lewis team. Here, Jarvis Moss. He had a day one high of 35 points. Playing in the state championship team Cannon school this past year. Jarvis was known as a spot up shooter, and rightfully so. I mean, you have Jaden Bradley on your team. He's the number one point guard in the 2022 class in the country. Put the ball in his hands, let him go make plays. And he made a lot of plays for Jarvis. Jarvis catch and shoot, knocking it down. For this PSB McCarthy team, he's really showcased the ability to kind of put it on the floor a little bit and make a play. Yesterday in this game, I was there watching the whole thing for 35 points. He had a couple catch and shoot things, but the catch and shoot, that wasn't where he was getting the majority of his buckets. It was the majority of 2 dribble pull-ups. He did some things in transition too, which is really nice to see. Actually, I would venture to say, if you break down all the numbers and stuff, his catch and shoot threes and stuff might have been probably his lowest percentage shots that he was actually taking. A lot of the stuff came free throw line, 2 dribble pull-ups, 1 dribble pull-up, and all that type of stuff, which is great to see the development of his game. Standing at 6'4" shooting guard. I believe that he was saying last week he was going to commit to a school. Then he opened it back up. To be able to get recruited, I guess, to quote unquote higher levels into other schools and open it back up to not close things down would be the way to put it. And it'll be interesting to see where his thing goes, because his shooting is a very real thing. I guess the question is going to be answered by the college coaches is will the on the floor stuff be able to translate? Will he be able to do all that type of stuff surrounding to get him a higher level offers than where he's at? In the Greensboro. UNC Greensboro, UNC Wilmington type of range. But this was his first event since that he decided to not commit, and 35 in the first game, and it was a very beautiful 35. It was a pure 35. It was had all the people on the sidelines nudging each other, poking them and saying, this dude's getting buckets. So kudos to Jarvis Moss. It'll be fun to see where he goes and how things play out for him at Cannon School. Now, obviously, Jaden Bradley's not there, so this is going to be his team. It's going to be him and DJ Nix and Christian Reeves and Elijah Ormiston, and it'll be interesting to see how how he goes with the focuses on him, how he's able to create for himself, and do all that. Moving on, Freddie De Leon, another 6'5" wing in the 2022 class. He has had an unbelievable summer so far. For whatever reason, he's the leading scorer last year for Trinity Christian, which was one of the best teams in the state of North Carolina. In the private school division, he was a leading scorer for him last year. 6'5" shooting guard. He's had a name his entire high school career, but for some reason he's just not getting the traction that he should. He's had an unbelievable summer, game in and game out this year. In Trinity Christian, they're leading top scorers, of years past have been the likes of Greg Gant, Joey Baker, Dennis Smith, Mike Thorne, all high major prospects and stuff. And then Freddie De Leon is supposed to be the next guy in line. So it'll be interesting to see when his recruitment starts to pick up. He's without question a top 10 to 15 or so player in the state of North Carolina in the 2022 class. Probably top 10. It's safe to say I don't have the list right in front of me. I don't have the names in front of me and all that type of stuff too, but probably a top 10 guy. He's explosive. He scores it. He's got aggressiveness toward the basket. He's got great positional size. He's got the handle. He's got the defense. He's got the strength. Not a lot of holes in his game. If I was getting a call from Clemson tomorrow, or I was getting a call from Boston College tomorrow, if I was getting a call from Northeastern or from any of those type of schools, and they would say, "Hey, I'm offering Freddie De Leon," I'd be like, good offer. Okay, I get it. He's just that type of player. He's really good. He should already have multiples in his bag right now. So I'm, he's another one, and he's consistently been great all summer. He's consistently put up viral things. If you remember 2 weeks ago when he was playing against, I believe it was Team Charlotte, he had that huge dunk and sat on the guy's head and stuff, and that type of confidence in his game, that type of aggression mixed with confidence has really taken his game to the next level. And he's consistently done it. This is probably the fourth time that I've seen him. And every single time in every single setting, he's been aggressive and consistent and efficient scoring the basketball. So here he comes heading into his junior year. And it'll be very exciting to see what that brings for him, what offers it brings for him, what type of numbers he puts up at Trinity Christian, and all that type of stuff. But, another top 10 guy in the 2022 class, the guys around him, the guys behind him have, 5, 6, 8 offers, and he's not holding that. So step forward, guys. Kid can do it. And then finally, Jordan Walsh. 6'7", 6'8", 2022 prospect for the Dallas Seawolves. He was playing up on the 17U age group this year, or in this event. Super long, super active. Not really a lot of holes in his game. He's a top 75 prospect in the country. I think some have him top 50. Easy to see why. Easy to see how, with the explosion, with the athleticism he has, with the length that he has. He's able to post up on the block. He's able to play in the mid post. He's able to create. Almost even kind of as a trail big, as a small ball 5 on the defensive end, moving, all that type of stuff. I saw one of his most recent offers was from Texas Tech, and I was like, man, that just seems like a Chris Beard dude, kind of the Zaire Smith type of guy that undersized positionless player who just really does a lot of stuff on the floor. And Jordan Walsh kind of has that ability. He's got that size and length, as we mentioned before. He's got that pop in his game. He's got that lateral quickness, the motor, the nose for the ball. He knocked down some jump shots. He created off the bounce. He could play as a true, 6'7", 6'8", 3-man, or he could play as an up-tempo 4-man, or he could play as an undersized 5 guy. And that type of positional versatility, that fluidity within his game, is really what today's basketball is all about. Which is easy to see why his why people like him so much, because it's one of those guys as to where his motor, his athleticism, his length and stuff runs so hot, is so much that he'll never not be productive in a game. Even if his shot's not falling, or if the handle's not there, the vision's just a second later, whatever the case it is in that game, he'll never not be productive because he'll be able to defend, he'll be able to rebound, he'll be able to finish at the basket, catch it in the dunk spots, finish at the rim, through guys and all that type of stuff too. So very good to see Jordan Walsh. I hadn't seen him since the CP3 Rising Stars camp when he was in 8th grade. So this was my first time seeing him since then, and the typical progression has continued to happen. The size, continues to grow and continues to figure himself out more as well. So to the five best who weren't MVPs: Gabe Cupps, Tremaine Parker, Jarvis Moss, Freddie De Leon, Jordan Walsh. And keep in mind, those were all guys from the games that I watched. Obviously, I'm not able to watch every game in the entire facility. So those are from the games that I watched, the best performances, the best players consistently throughout the weekend there. So heading into that was the recap of the Big Shots Rock Hill event from this past weekend. I think it was called the season finale. Heading into the power rankings. North Carolina, obviously, there's tons of AAU programs, and North Carolina is one of the states that's been playing. There are some programs who have not played. So you have the likes of Team Felton, Team Wall, the Royal Knights. They have not taken the floor yet, so obviously they're not going to be included within this. Nobody's seen them play and all that type of stuff. But I have had the ability to see every other team in the state of North Carolina play multiple times in multiple settings, and all that type of stuff as well when they played and everything too. So I'm going to go through and give the power rankings off of my eye test. There's no real mathematical formula going into this, but off of my eye test, the number one team in the state of North Carolina, Team CP3. They've only played in one event. They went 3-0 in that event. They had the last second buzzer beater over Team Charlotte. They also had the win over, I believe it was Team Loaded North Carolina, and the win over B. Mays Elite in that game. They also did not have Jaden Bradley. They also, Daniel Dixon had been injured, which is their 6'8" big man. And also MJ Rice was coming off an injury too. So, they were an incomplete team, still went 3-0, and still looked absolutely, completely, utterly dominant in that game, or in that entire weekend. Jalen Hood-Shafino is the name on the team. For some unexplicable reason, 247 Sports having ranked in the 40s. That's absurd. He's an easy top 25 player in the country. Probably be even higher than that with NBA aspirations. Going to Montverde this next year to play. He's just on a whole new level, on an entirely different level of player. When the game's on the line and the ball goes in his hands, he makes a play. He's shooting the ball better, doing all that type of stuff as well. Also on that team, Louisville commit Bobby Pettiford. Also on that team, Louisville commit 6'9" Eric Vanderheiden. Also on that team, NC State commit Terquavion Smith. Also on that team, Debo Coleman, top 40 player in the country. Also on that team, Halvante Hutcherson, big 6'8" player. Also on that team, UNC commit Dontrez Styles. Yeah, no, absolutely loaded. Absolutely loaded team. Deontay Green also played for them, 6'8", top 40 player in the country in the 2022 class, as well with offers, Kansas, Louisville, Auburn, Ohio State, South Carolina. The list goes on with Deontay Green's offers too. So that's the CP3 team. Number one, North Carolina power rankings. Number two, Team Curry. They won the Big Shots Championship today. They're overall 20-4 now. They've won 10 of their last 11 games. And 10 straight. Through their last 3 events, they're 11-1. They've won their last 10 straight, and they're overall 20-4 right now. So they've had a dominant AAU season so far, winning championships, winning games. Every one of the players on their roster is either committed to Division I or has picked up a Division I offer. You look at the team that they had today, the roster of players they had today, Jamari Thomas at the point guard. You had Logan, who backed him up, 6'2", 2022 for Concord Academy, 6'3", Concord Academy. Then you have AJ Allenspack, who's committed to Army. You have Jonathan Curtis, who's recently picked up his first 2 Division I offers. You have Quell Mating, who just released his Final 8, which includes the likes of Providence and others. You have Jonas Adu, who's a top 100 prospect, who's got 15 to 20 plus offers, and he's going to continue to keep going with all the stuff that he has. PJ Edwards, who's right on the verge of an incredible breakout. It's just a great team. Sim Frazier's done a great job of assembling the team. He's got a great staff of coaches there. That do a great job, and Sim's done a good job of delegating to his coaches, kind of allowing his coaches to coach. So, he's got a defensive guy, he's got an offensive guy. They all kind of come in together for morale and boost and stuff, and kind of lets him, deal with the head coaching stuff. And they just they've done a great job this year. And the development of their players has been unanimous throughout the course of the team. Who some scouts even in the state were questioning if he was even a Division I player coming through, who's become, a vital piece to their team. He should have 10 plus Division I offers at this point in time, and his confidence has just grown, throughout the entire season. Same thing with Jamari Thomas. People question, was he a Division I player coming in? And then through steady growth and steady play throughout the entire AAU season, he should have 10 plus D1 offers at this point in time, and still more coming with his ability to kind of just create for himself and others. And Jonathan Curtis with his rebound, with his ability to do the things that big guys do, finish plays at the rim, to defend really hard on the block, to set great screens, and roll to the basket and be open. So it's just a whole lot of stuff there. AJ Allensback, I believe people, obviously he came up from South Carolina. He was at Hillcrest High School. People didn't even know who he was really. Now he's turned into an actual defensive stopper with the ability to play some small ball 4 and even some small ball 5 and type stuff, and finish at the rim, make jump shots, and do all that as well. And then Jonas Adu, I believe Sim Frazier will even tell you this, that he didn't even know if he was going to be on the Team Curry A team when this whole thing started. This guy right here was telling him that's absolutely absurd, because I've been talking about Jonas Adu as a high major possible NBA guy for over a year now. But we'll digress with that. And now all that's coming into fruition, because now Jonas Adu is actually piquing the interest of NBA teams and stuff. He's getting on the NBA radar right now. That's not college. That's not talking about high major college stuff. He's on the NBA radar now. That's what this summer has done for him. Gone from unknown, if he can even be on a shoe circuit team, to the NBA radar. And then PJ Edwards. PJ Edwards is about to explode within the state of North Carolina. He's about to get all those offers. He's about to be a top 10 ranked player in the state. He's about to get the high majors coming in and stuff. An elite level defender. He's able to create off the bounce. He's able to shoot the ball. Just a overall really good, really tough wing. Also, consequently, happens to be on that Liberty Heights team with Jonas Adu, with Isaac Farrar, with Elijah Jamison. The list goes on. So be on the lookout for them this year too. Finishing up the power rankings, Team Charlotte coming in at number 3 for me. They went to the finals of the Phenom event, lost at the buzzer to CP3, went to the finals of the Big Shots event, lost at the buzzer to Team Curry. That's the number 1, number 2 team. They've kind of gone through beating everybody else. While their roster has shifted from the normal Team Charlotte roster, which included Ben Burnham, Trey Benham, Ben Burnham is going to Winthrop, Trey Benham, who's going to Lipscomb, I believe, and then Jacoby Wright is going to the University of South Carolina. They've transitioned that to kind of their combine roster, which has the likes of Patrick Wessler and Jalen Curry and Robert Dillingham and Ja'Cory Owens and all those guys. So even through that shift, got them here at number 3. Number 4, Team Eat, and then number 5, Team Eat is also Team Loaded North Carolina. And they this past week they played. They had Aiden Holloway in there, Isaac Farrar, who we mentioned earlier, Elijah Jamison was in there, Brandon White running with them. Just a really good compilation of players. 6'7" wing, Trayvon Bird, Elijah Wilson. Really good compilation of players and stuff. And then Garner Road gets the nod at number 5. You've had some other teams. Flight 22's had a great summer. Juice All Stars has had a great summer. Garner Road, the last time they played their last event with Phenom, they all cylinders clicked. They had Isaiah Phillips come in and play the point guard for them. DeMarco Dunn averaged 28 or so per game. Will Felton was a double threat. MJ Wilde came in to stretch the floor. You had Isaiah Ray to fill all the holes. Lucas Taylor, 22 a game, was a scoring threat. We all know that he is. You had the point guard who ran the team and still got about 14 a game. You had the 2 wings in DeMarco and Lucas who just got buckets. They also showed a little bit of creation, a little secondary handle type stuff, but they both shot the cover off the ball and they shot it efficiently because they were getting the ball in their spots. Then you had the bigs doing their thing too, with Will Felton and with Rob Wright, who's an oak tree down there on the block, with Isaiah Stanton Ray, who's able to create at 6'7", and do all that. MJ Wilde at 6'9", able to shoot the ball well and protect the rim a little bit and all that type of stuff too. They were really hitting their stride there at the end during their last event and stuff. So going off of that, Garner Road would be number 5 in my power rankings. So there you go. There you have it. We went through the power rankings. 1 CP3, 2 Team Curry, 3 Team Charlotte, 4 Team Loaded North Carolina, 5 Garner Road. And then we went through the Big Shots event, the recap of the Big Shots event and everything too. Now opening up the questions. Go ahead and type it in over here to the side. If anybody has any questions, wants to go through, has any asks or anything, talk about recruiting, talk about players, talk about prospects, talk about games, anything like that, go ahead and open it up. I see we've been going for about 39 minutes now. And a lot of people have come in and out. The thing fluctuates from 2 viewers to 12 viewers to 7 viewers to 2 viewers to 15 viewers to 7 viewers. So a lot of people coming in and out, but go ahead. If nobody has anything else left to say or ask, I'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. But thank you guys so much for checking in. I will be putting out content throughout this entire week. I think this week on the Absolute Basketball YouTube channel, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to talk about the number 1 prospects in the class. So I'll be doing a video on Tuesday. It'll be released, number 1 prospect in the 2021 class in North Carolina. Wednesday will be number 1 player in the 2021 class in South Carolina. Thursday will be 2022 class in North Carolina. Friday will be 2022 class in South Carolina. So we'll go through all that, let y'all know who I think is the number 1 player in the class, and just discuss why. I'll show you film on it and discuss why I think that they're all there. But if there's nothing else there, thank you guys so much for tuning in here. Please don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to this channel.
If you have not already, if you want to continue to see more basketball analysis, more prospect analysis, we're going to have video breakdowns, film breakdowns of players. We're going to have mixtapes of events. We're going to have college coaches interviews. We're going to have player interviews and everything in between. So if you want to continue to see all the realm of basketball stuff, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Please go ahead and like this video as well and all that stuff. Make sure you subscribe on or make sure that you follow on Twitter at JamieShaw5. Make sure that you follow the Instagram account at Jamie_Shaw5, and then follow us on our Absolute Basketball Experience podcast as well. Go ahead and rate that 5 stars and give it a nice little review and subscribe to it as well. That helps us out in the rankings and everything. But thank you guys so much. Please leave leave in the comments below if you have any other follow-up questions too. Please leave it. Go ahead and comment on it. Leave it below. We're going to archive this and we're going to go ahead and make it live right after I hang up here too. So make it live, comment below, let us know. Thank you guys very much for tuning in, and can't wait to see you next time.